In today's video, we're going to talk about listening. That should be a natural thing for musicians, right? But listening to and learning from others, especially people who are different from us. Take a listen.
Just the ability to learn to be a listener. I'm a pretty opinionated guy. I think us artists all have the tendency to be pretty opinionated. And over the years, I think, especially I've gotten older, I'm 44 now, and in my 30s, I think there was just a right way to do things. And I've loved my 40s better, if not for the singular reason that I'm starting to back off of the idea that everything that I do has to be done a certain way to be right. When I had Nathan Knuckles produced my national release, Every Reason Why. And when we were in the studio, I was so opinionated, and I was so narrow in my musical desires to get stuff sounding a certain way. And he had this phrase that it stuck with me to this day. He would say, yeah, that's another version of right. It's just another version of right. And I use that with my students. I've used that in the 10, 11 years since that production. He really taught me that that's a thing. It's 100% correct. And then if you do it completely different, it's also 100% correct. We need to embody that as artists. Really take that in and realize that we can make decisions and go completely this way, but it doesn't mean that it's right. It means that it's our creative choice. And keep open the idea that maybe in a year, in 5 years, this way will be what everybody's doing, and it's right too. It's okay. I have found spiritual, musical, political, for lack of a better word, ideological growth in having cups of coffee with people that I disagree with, that I'm different than. And I wonder if we shouldn't, as Christians, certainly as worship leaders, seek out opportunities to do that, just so that we can sort of flex the muscles of grace and tolerance and Jesus embodied those things. Jesus was right, though, always right. And so that's a tricky thing. We think, well, because Jesus was this way, we can be that way because we want to be like Jesus, but we're not Jesus. We're not always right. And so the ability to really listen and empathize and allow differing opinions, again, ideologically, philosophically, musically, creatively, differing opinions to sort of soak in before we just say, nah, that's not the right way to do things. It's made me grow. People watching this may be surprised that I'm even saying that. If they knew me 10 years ago, they think I'm a hypocrite because, I didn't. I just really dug my feet in quickly on a lot of things. And I think as I've grown older, I don't do that as much anymore.
That whole idea of listening and learning from others is something that is so important, and yet it is so often neglected in our culture. We have a tendency to listen to other people so that we can respond to them rather than honestly listening for information, to hear what they're actually saying. We just don't do that well. And somebody a while back said that hearing is a physiological phenomenon, but listening is an intentional act. And I think that's right. We have to intentionally listen, to pay attention to what they're saying so that we can glean from what they're saying, so that we can learn from them, because it's going to cause us to grow in the midst of that. And I'm not talking about learning spiritual truth from other religions. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Clearly, our faith is based on the Word of God, the Bible, all right? But in everyday life kind of situations, and even musical situations, whatever it might be, there's a lot that we could learn from one another if we just took the time to listen and learn from each other. I've joined a group in the St. Louis area where I live. Once a month, I am in a room with average 50 to 80 other leaders from around the area. And well over half of these leaders are from the inner city, African American mostly, very different from the out of St. Louis rural area that I'm from. but I've learned so much in interacting with them because their culture is so different from what I'm accustomed to. And that idea of learning from, listening to others is such an important thing. So I want you to consider, what does that mean for you? What could you do in your situation that would cause you to have to listen to and learn from other people, that would help you to grow, to stretch you a little bit, and make you look at things from a different perspective? Think about it. How could this make a difference for you?
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.